Welcome to the By Steve podcast.
Yo, what's up, man? This is one of those tough ones. Welcome to the By Steve podcast. It is June, which is International World Men's Mental Health Month. So these are always the ones that I really want to record, but I just never know how to go about it because the mood almost needs to be down, but the motivation needs to be up, because to talk about mental health openly, when you're talking about your own mental health, you're really digging into a part of your soul that you're not necessarily comfortable sharing. And a wise woman said to me today, gotta be uncomfortable to get comfortable, right? Or something like that. I don't know what she said. I wasn't really listening. But this is one of those. A couple of years ago, I did some Instagram posts based around men's mental health and the struggles to which I had had. I'd had some time off work a few years back, quite a lot of time off, struggling with my mental health. And that was really only scratching the surface. And that's only the only time that I've ever really spoken about it. And some of the people who watched and listened to some of that stuff were very open about the fact that they could not talk about those things. As men, they didn't feel that they could open up and be that honest and that vulnerable. I'm going to try and go a step further. It is not a secret that I have my ups and downs. I wear that heavy. And I do my best to deal with it. And I have my coping mechanisms. I'm very good at taking things out of the scenarios which kind of cause those stresses and anxieties and bring me down, whether it's people or whether it's situations or whatever. I have had a very unhealthy relationship, I think, with alcohol over the years. And I'm not teetotal. I'm not going to try and be that guy. I am not. But I try to pick my parties with alcohol. Very much so. I have an addictive personality. From my teens to my late 20s, I don't think I was really that sober. And on the days that I was sober, I was probably going to a party later on. I played pretty much a whole basketball career with a hangover every Saturday or Sunday morning. And used to drink on a Tuesday. I had a tab at a bar. So, I have been through the depths of alcohol. And I had an alcoholic father. While I have a person in my life who I call my dad, he's not my biological dad. But my actual biological father was an alcoholic, I think. He left early on, but I think if anyone was to describe him, he tried to be a good person, but he wasn't, and he drank a hell of a lot. To the point where he locked me in a Ford Capri for 6 hours, what it felt like, so he could go get drunk and then drunk drive me home, only feeding me bacon fries and bringing me a lemonade every couple of hours. That's another story in itself. But this men's mental health awareness thing, I'm always an advocate of checking in on people and checking in to make sure that your friends and your family and the people around you are better than maybe what they're projecting. And if they're not, how to go about helping them and just offering an ear. And it's very well known in my mind and from the people around me that I am a rescuer. I am a rescuer of people, which is probably why I don't have very good relationships myself, because I'm sent by the gods and the angels to rescue everybody else who is broken. And with that, you carry a lot of people's stress and anxiety. But even with my own, this is the first time I'm going to talk about this to this level. When we came out of COVID, I had to find somewhere to live, and I had no money. I had very few clients. I was struggling to get back out of that COVID situation. And this is not the first time, but this is probably the most prominent time in recent history, where I moved house. I had a flat. I had to pave my way to rebuild my business, and I had nothing but super noodles to eat. And all that stuff sounds like quite like normal, I suppose, at that point in time. But I know that there's people around me now that know that in those moments I was probably the lowest that I've ever been, and there was definitely people looking out for me at certain points in time. But I can say this with my hand on my heart, that there were points in time then and years before when I was struggling before where I honestly thought that the world would have been better without me. And there was points in time where I was struggling to make ends meet and I had no money and I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I didn't know how to lean on anybody. And I used to cry all the time because I didn't know how to deal with any of that. And I am a 6'6", 100-kilo man who is over emotional all of the time, and can honestly say that there was points in my life, within those windows of time, rebuilding my business, when I'd had time off when I was a teacher, when I was in shitty relationships, that I have been at the bottom of the barrel, and I haven't seen the light, and I haven't seen the way back up, and I have battled. And I can tell you now, there were times where I contemplated ways to take my own life. And I didn't know what to do. And that is the first time that I've ever said that out loud. I have had those conversations with myself in my head. I have thought about it in certain situations when I've been stressed and I've been down and I've been at the bottom. And I have considered the ways that I would make my own life easier, but nobody else's. One of my greatest superpowers is that I can reflect enough that I understand the magnitude of what that means to everybody else around me. Which means that I'm not at the bottom of the barrel, really, because I think, male suicide is a sickness that you get to a certain point and you don't really consider anybody else. But there's very much been moments where I have weighed up my options. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that at this point in time. It's Men's Mental Health Month. And I can say that a couple of times this week, a couple of people have asked me if I'm okay, and I am okay right now. I'm in a really good place. I'm going to Italy in a few days. I'm going to go play basketball with my friends and da-da-da-da. It doesn't mean that life's easy, though. But it's easier than it's been for a long, long time. But there's been people who've been like, "What up, man? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man," because they know and they see the peaks and the troughs. And I went for dinner with my friend the other day, and I said to her, I'm so grateful to her and to my other friend. There's two particular people who have really kept me on the straight and narrow the last couple of years. They know who they are, I think. And one of them will probably listen to this and be like, "Ah." The other one probably won't even know it exists because she doesn't do anything social media or whatever. But there was a point in my time where, I was the moodiest mofo and I got told off for not being social. And the only reason why I survived society at this point within the community that I work in was because I had nice shoes. And that was a dark time. And everything falls into place for a reason. And I can say that certain things changed. Opportunities came my way. Money came my way. friendships, community, and social things, basketball, new people, all came at the right time. But I will say this, and I stand by this, and I know that there's certain people who listen to some of my content and they're like, bore off. Blah, blah, blah. Cancer survivor. Shit mental health guy. Shit fashion. I know there's people listening to my stuff and they don't give a fuck. Check on your motherfucking friends. Because just because you doing a dance and you be singing, it don't mean everything be all sunshines and rainbows. I've been close to the bottom. I've been really fucking close. And I'm going to advocate till the end of the earth. Check on your friends, man. Male friends, female friends, your friends' kids, your grandparents, your fucking everyone, the person in the coffee shop. Ask someone how they are and ask them if you can help. Because I can tell you this, if you've been low and you've been that low and you've been that low, sometimes the person or the thing that saves you is just somebody giving you a Maryland cookie or a coffee or a hug or holding the door for you. Yeah. Men's Mental Health month of June. Except that this podcast will be the first time in history that I've ever admitted that at some point in my life, multiple points in my life, that while I've always admitted that I've had really bad mental health at times, that it's been fucking bad sometimes. And this is not me talking about it for sympathy, for likes, for anything, because there's about 4 people that listen to this and there is no sharing of my content right now. It's not big enough. It's just an open, honest conversation. It's a letter to myself. I love me. I'm a project. I'm forever moving forwards. I'm not perfect. And I appreciate all the people that support, stand by me, and continue to feed into my positive energy. Go check on someone right now. Peace out, motherfuckers. Bye.
Welcome to the By Steve podcast.